Alright, hey grade 9, so we're going to get into our second part of our week 5 lesson. So this is going to be all about similar polygons and determining if things are similar. So in order for two shapes or two polygons to be considered similar, these rules must occur. So I'm just going to point out here, when two polygons are similar, they must have all matching angles and they must have matching sides are going to be proportional. So what that means, we looked at in our last video, proportion was when a fraction or a ratio happens to be equal to another. So for instance, 1/2 equals like 4/8. Okay? And so sides, matching sides do need to be proportional in that case. So let's just have a quick look at a couple examples here to get more explanation on that. So we're looking here at, we've got pentagons. Pentagons have 5 sides. It's not a regular, up at the top there, just going to bring this back, a regular polygon, so like a regular pentagon has 5 matching sides. A square has 4 matching sides, triangle has 3 matching sides, hexagon has 6, right? An octagon has 8. However, not all polygons are going to be considered regular. So this one, they don't have 5 matching sides, but it is still a pentagon. So one of the first things that I want to do is I want to look at and see if the angles, the matching angles, are going to be equal. So R, and notice that the angle over here has a little apostrophe, and that's to determine or show that these two are slightly different. So we can say that R and R are going to be equal. So I'm just going to, R equals angle R. So they're both equal to 96. Okay? And so those are going to be considered matching. And you can go around and you can look at like S and S apostrophe, well, that equals 110. And T and T, they both equal 90. And P, they both equal 90, and then Q and Q apostrophe both equal 104. I'm not going to write all of that down for you, but we do know that all of those 5 different angles do have a matching angle that is equal. So that does fit with making these two polygons similar. Now the next thing that we do have to check is that matching sides are going to be proportional. So I'm just going to go around and I'm going to check to see if things are proportional. So when I think about like this is, we would label that side RS. And that's 2.5. And then, actually, just going to make a little change there. So RS, make my larger just on top, R apostrophe S apostrophe. That one was 3.75. And so if I divide those two numbers together, I get 1.5. Then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to match up ST and ST. Oh. Well, that's the same thing. So obviously the same. What about along the bottom? This 4.5 divided by 3. Yep, that's 1.5. Then I could try along the side here, PQ and PQ with apostrophes. So we've got 3 divided by 2. Yes, that's 1.5 as well. And lastly, the 2.25 and 1.5. equals 1.5. So if they all equal 1.5, when you divide them, the larger divided by the smaller in this case, my scale factor is 1.5. So it meets both criteria. Matching angles are equal and matching sides are proportionate. So we would say yes. I'm just going to go through, we're going to use some notation here. We're going to go R, S, T, P, and Q. So I used all 5 letters, R, S, T, P, Q. Is similar, and so we use a little squiggly line to show that things are similar. And then I'm going to use those same letters but with apostrophes in the same order. So matching sides do have to have that same order. So a little bit of notation here that I'm teaching you. And so we could say that for an answer. Okay, and we've shown all of our work. Going to move on, just looking at another very similar example, is wondering, are these two going to be similar? And so again, I can just double check. Go 90, 90, 135, 135, 45, 45, 90, and 90. So our angles do match up. So that's good. So angles are checked. Then if I go to my sides, why don't this time I'll just do my smaller divided by my smaller. So we're going to go 1 divided by 1.5. That gets me 0.6 repeated, or 2/3, right? And then I'll check the next one here. So 2.8 divided by 4.2. That also equals 0.6 repeated. 2 divided by 3. That's 2/3, yeah. 0.6 repeated. And what did I miss? I think I missed this bottom. 3 and 4.5. 0.6 repeated. So they are all proportionate, so my scale factor in this case is equal to 0.6 repeating, so it's a reduction. And then I could just go ahead and make that similarity statement. Q, R, S, T is similar to U, V, W, X. So I do have to match up the correct angles. Okay, so in that same order to make sure that they are similar. So that's how I would answer that one. Okay, 2 more just slightly different types of questions. This is when we are going to be finding unknown sides. So this type of question does tell us the following figures are similar. Determine the length. So if I need to figure out lengths, I'm going to find out my scale factor. So my scale factor, if I'm finding what values are on the larger, I'm going to take my larger side that I know divided by a smaller side. So I do know the 3.6 and a matching side. And I get 1.5. So that's my scale factor. Now that I have my scale factor, I can go ahead and I could take this 1.8 and go 1.8 times 1.5 equals 2.7 centimeters. So this side over here is 2.7 centimeters. And I can do this same thing with this 1.2. Times it by that same scale factor, 1.5, and I get 1.8 centimeters. Okay, so it's just a matter of multiplying it by its scale factor, but first you need to find your scale factor. So we're going to do the same thing down here, but I'm now looking for a side on the smaller figure. So it said zy, so z to y is what I'm looking for. So my scale factor is going to be the smaller value divided by the larger. So I can go ahead and take my 1.8 divided by 3, which equals 1.6. Now I can just go ahead and multiply that by this larger size. 2 times 0.6 is equal to 1.2 centimeters. So zy is equal to 1.2 centimeters. So we will leave it with that, and that finishes off this section on whether or not the two polygons are similar to one another. We need to check for angles to make sure that matching angles are similar. And then we need to go ahead and find out if unknown sides when we're given two figures that are similar. Alright, that is it for this week. Take care. I continue to load in more bonus material as time goes on. So please do check out the bonus material in the Khan Academy especially. I will continue to upload new stuff there that has to do with geometry, but you can also go back and look through some of the solving equation stuff from the past unit and keep practicing your skills at home. And yeah, we'll just I'll keep you moving. Alright, take care.